Hello and welcome. You're watching Addis Media Network, and this is our weekly review, reviewing the issues with, of course, the most important issues. And for today, I am Brahana Tardasa, and Jonas Assers is with me. And good to see you here.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Nice.
Yeah.
So over the week, as you know, there were many issues, including bilateral ties, Ethiopia with other countries, and Prime Minister, of course, visiting Arba Minj. We, of course, have the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dome, and there will be many issues as well. And I think it will be very nice if we can start with some issues we have at hand, especially with the bilateral ties.
Yes, Brian. So I've got two stories about what happened last week. The first one is about the Prosperity Party. Just let me just read them. It's the stories as I highlight. But the Prosperity Party reaffirmed last week its dedication to intensifying efforts to ensure public benefit in the coming Ethiopian year to 2018. During a discussion with party leaders and members, Adam Farah, the vice president of the Prosperity Party and the head of the Coordination Center for Democratic Building, emphasized the party's commitment to strengthening its initiatives aimed at benefiting the population in the coming Ethiopian New Year. The meeting focused on assessing the party's performance during the 2017, that is last year, the concluding year, and outlining strategic plans for 2018 with the review of achievements across various sectors. Adam Farah, the vice president of the PP, highlighted the significant progress made in the previous year, noting that efforts in peace and security were vital in enabling the country to undertake various development projects. So this is the highlight what the Prosperity Party has reaffirmed its commitment towards just achieving what the party has already targeted, enhance harnessing potentials in various sectors in order to benefit the people of Ethiopia. The second one is about the bilateral ties between Ethiopia and Israel. You know, last week, Israel's ambassador to Ethiopia, Abraham Negosi, at the opening ceremony of the one-week health training, highlighted the deep-rooted historical and traditional relationship between the two nations, Ethiopia and Israel. You remember that the Israeli delegation came to Ethiopia just to provide support in the health sector and to provide training to the health professionals. So the Israeli ambassador just talked about this in connection with training and the visit of these delegations. So Israeli medical professionals just were offering advanced training on comprehensive anesthesiology and life-supporting techniques to health professionals, I have already said, from 8 hospitals in Addis Ababa. You know, a one-week training is being held at Alat Hospital Comprehensive Specialized. A one-week training was being held at the Alat Hospital Comprehensive Specialized Hospital. The training is a collaborative effort between Mashav and with the full support of Ethiopia's Ministry of Health. This is a very important thing because the Ethiopian Ministry of Health has been striving very hard in the health sector in this regard. That's why the collaboration between Mashav and the Ethiopian Ministry of Health has made the visit of the Israeli delegates just a success. So speaking at the opening ceremony, Israel's ambassador highlighted the deep-rooted historical and traditional relationship between the two nations. You know, the two countries has a unique relationship traditionally, historically, and in other sectors. So he highlighted that too. So these are the two stories of last week that I would like to highlight.
Yeah, I really appreciate that you give us the updates. And the next issue, of course, will take us to the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dome. But before that, let's give our viewers about what you gave us the update, especially the Prosperity Party and the Israeli ambassador to Ethiopia, especially related to health issue. And we'll be right back.
Good. The purpose of this course is just to share Israeli experiences. Israel, as a startup nation, is using innovation and technologies in many different areas, agriculture and others, and also the health sector. So today we are focusing on health sector. We have a delegation, medical delegation, doctors from Israeli hospitals. So they are here to conduct a 1-week training course of capacity building on anesthesiology and trauma. So this is really sharing experiences and knowledges between the medical doctors of Ethiopia and the medical doctors of Israel, of strengthening a relationship with the African continent. And the first priority is Ethiopia, because we see Ethiopia with our long relationship, and we have also a unique relationship that, the many years of the Ethiopian Jewish community here. Ethiopia in the Horn of Africa is very important for our relationship for Israel, for example, because Ethiopia is a gateway to Africa.
We are here to give whatever we can. We're here to give and take from each other, to form a partnership where we can just each be our best. And that's what it's about. The world is a little bit of a disaster now, and all we can focus on is saving the life in front of us.
We are getting lots of equipment support. We are very grateful for that. We are grateful for Israeli government, even at this very difficult time. Thank you for your support, for work together, collaborate, strengthen our collaboration.
Dear viewers, we're back and we're reviewing the issues we have at hand. The next thing, of course, will take us to Ethiopian Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Done. And this, of course, was talk of the town, especially everybody was talking about the Renaissance Done. Actually, it's been talk of the town even for a long time, because this is a big issue and it's expected to be one of the biggest dams in the world. Most probably, we are, of course, inaugurating it in the coming weeks. That will be the breaking news that
yes.
we are going to have. Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, this is the most important projects for Ethiopia. Not only for Ethiopian people, but also for the region of the continent in the Eastern Africa and the continent itself, because it is one of the huge projects. It's a huge dam in Africa and one of the huge dams in the world, by the way. So it is supposed to change the narrative of Ethiopia and the narrative related to water resources, water usages. And it's also supposed that it will ease the tension between Ethiopia and the downstream countries. So it has a multifaceted benefit, and it is good for Ethiopia, and it is good for Africa that is going to be inaugurated the coming week.
Sure, we'll be expecting that as well. And the Prime Minister of Ethiopia, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, giving the message, of course, said that my message to the lower basin countries is that good for Sudan, good for Egypt is a blessing. It never brings harm. Ethiopia's development is, of course, their development. As you already said it, Ethiopia's energy is to be distributed to all. As you know, like we locally in Ethiopia, we know GERD as Abai, and there were many songs. You remember that, and it was not into the benefit of the country. Mostly, it was only benefiting other countries than neighboring countries. But Ethiopia has, of course, to be, of course, use Abai itself, and we're not hurting others when we have this grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam. This is not according to me, according to the scientists, according to the engineers as well. So this is, according even to the Prime Minister, is a blessing to all the countries.
Yeah, it's good. You're right. That Ethiopia, it's been some long years that Ethiopia has not used the river, Abai River, particularly for the development of its people. Now, it has just started. It is a great signal for the government, for other leaders or countries in the region and even in the world, that this cooperation is a vital tool for countries just in order to use water resources. This cooperation is a vital. So the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, I think, will have this kind of impact, positive impact, I mean, upon the region, upon the government countries of the world. That cooperation is very important. So the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam has reached this level because of the cooperation, because of the commitment of the Ethiopian people here, local and abroad. You know, they have just sacrificed a lot of people died, by the way, in the construction of the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, and the people just regardless of ages, ethnicity, and other differences, they have contributed a lot to the success of the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam. So the government also has just given a great attention to just building and to completing the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam.
Yoni, you're right, and this is why we always said Abai, or the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, is ours. So when we say ours, of course, we contributed. You remember back in the school, everybody contributed, starting from the students, even to other high officials. Everybody contributed. That's why we are eagerly waiting for this one. By the way, Jonas, the head of Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam Coordination Office, Argoy Berhe, of course, said that there is no economic freedom for Africa, even after the colonialism period has ended. And including these two speeches will give our viewers a glimpse of it, and this is the right time to give them. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed and, of course, Argoy Berhe, head of Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam Coordination Office, and we'll be back watching this one. By the way, you're watching Addis Media Network, and this is your weekly review. We'll be back.
My message to the downstream countries is that the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam for Sudan, the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam for Egypt is a blessing. It never brings harm.
ለአፍሪካውያን እድገት አላመጣም። ያው ነው ያለ ነው።
There is no economic freedom for Africa, even after the colonialism period has ended. So in order to eradicate backwardness and avoid migration, we have to build our own free economy. You can't be free, and you can't achieve growth being dependent. So the dam is a lesson not only for us, but also for all Africans. We've been documenting each process of the dam to take lessons for ourselves and share experiences to others.
5150 ሜጋዋት ኃይል የሚያመነጭ ነው።
The dam will produce 5,150 megawatts of power. It's more than a dam. It reflects national unity and Ethiopian identity. It's a project we ensured our sovereignty and showed our firm stand to benefit from the river as it originates from us. We have reaffirmed that we can grow with our resources with no need of support from others, and that we have the power to build our free economy.
Dear viewers, you're watching Addis Media Network, and this is your weekly review, reviewing the issues we have at hand. I am Brhan Tadasa, the host and producer as well. And Jonas Asras is, of course, right here with me, having different issues we have, of course, at hand. And the next thing is what we are going to go, that is to the land of wisdom, Arba Minch. I know you love Arba Minch as well. You have had the chance to visit as well, and I know you produced some news as well. And over the week, the Prime Minister of Ethiopia, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, appreciated the ongoing tempo of the development tasks in Arba Minch, and of course its vicinity. And this is the right time, I think, to go to Arba Minch at this time.
Brahani, I would like to talk about, not particularly about the visit of Prime Minister to Arba Minch, but to the southern part of Ethiopia, because Prime Minister also visited Hawassa city. So when we talk about the visit, just there are two sectors that come to our mind, the manufacturing sector and the tourism sector. Because the Prime Minister visited areas that magnify these two sectors. Ethiopia's got a 10-year strategic plan. So that strategic plan outlines the vision that the country would like to be after 10 years. So the government has set some selected sectors as development and pillars. These 5 selected pillars are just supposed to be springboard for bringing the country out of poverty, for sustainable development. So manufacturing and tourism are the ones that the government has put as a strategic pillar, development pillars. So talking about the manufacturing sector, Ethiopia has a great potential in terms of manufacturing. So from small scale manufacturing to huge industries. So the government has greatly eyes upon this sector towards just involving citizens in all parts of the country, towards just being innovator and creative just in manufacturing. Made in Ethiopia movement, I think you remember that. Made in Ethiopia movement, or it's just an initiative by the Ethiopian government. It aims just to boost the manufacturing sector across the country. And the other one is the government has been working hard towards producing products that can substitute the imported ones. So this is also another component when we talk about manufacturing and when we talk about the efforts of the government towards this particular sector. So the solar panel factory, I think you remember that Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed visited at Hawassa. That is a huge step, by the way. So Ethiopia as a country is just embracing sectors or engagements or practices that it has never experienced before. So this factory, the solar panel factories, has not been here in the country. It is a new phenomenon for the country. So it is good. Expanding just the areas of manufacturing is one of the tools. The other one is the expansion of the industrial parks across Ethiopia. It's also another important tool for just boosting the manufacturing sector in Ethiopia. That's why Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed visited the southern part of Ethiopia, particularly Hawassa and the industrial park and this specific factory. The other one is the tourism sector.
Since you've had different expressions, different places, even you visited, and I want you even to compare some of the things, especially the importance of tourism. Tourism, of course, is one of the main things Ethiopia has, and there are many things to visit. Now we're having a lot, including man-made places to visit, all right? Before that, you remember, Sofamer we had it, and you can mention the Lalibela, you can go to Aksum, and many, of course. And having such kind of man-made places to visit is, of course, helps us to have more to introduce even about the country as well. So I was really happy that you mentioned the manufacturing and tourism as well. And recently, by the way, Jonas, I know you had the chance to visit Russia, and I wanted you even to compare the tourism we have here and maybe the lessons you took there as well.
You're right. So the tourism sector is also one of the most important tools that the government just has put on the table, on the strategic plan, because it is one of the area that can be used, that can be harnessed in order to develop the country, in order to bring sustainable development to the people of the nation. So it is good, by the way, just you are just one of the witnesses that what is being done here in the capital, Addis Ababa, and what is being done in other cities in the country, across the country. So it is great, by the way, just you mentioned that about Moscow. It is a huge city. So Ethiopia has a lot to learn from such developed cities. The good thing about Addis Ababa, the good thing about Ethiopia is it is on the right track towards being the most prosperous city, the most wanted city in Africa, by the way, and the cleanest city in Africa. And the Addis Ababa city government has a vision. The vision is to make the city comfortable or livable for raising children.
Right.
So it's working hard towards making the city comfortable for raising children.
Yeah.
That's a great relief. That's a great pleasure. Just seeing our city like that.
Yeah.
So my understanding about what Addis Ababa city has been doing is that it is on the right track.
It really is, yeah.
Yeah. In terms of the country level tourism potential, tourism efforts, the government has constructed a lot of lodges and tourism destinations. This by itself tells that to what extent the government has gone far towards harnessing the potential of tourism.
Yeah.
So Arbaminch, particularly, as Prime Minister visited last week, Arbaminch is the city with the great potential. The other important thing about Arbaminch is the corridor development program and the riverside development programs that Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed visited along with other high-ranking government officials. So these activities that we are witnessing here in Addis Ababa are not confined only in the capital.
Right.
It's also experiencing in other cities like Arbaminch.
Right.
So in this regard, the government has been doing it great.
I really appreciate that you mentioned the corridor development in and out of Addis. I was, of course, one of the witnesses that I mostly love walking. For those who really love walking, Addis and other places are really comfortable this time. You can mention Addis Ababa, you can go to even Arbaminch, you can go to Dredar, Harar, and even this is not the corridor, by the way, development is not only for urban areas, it's also for rural areas. And we are happy that we're witnessing those developments, especially at this specific time. And one of the reasons why we enjoy this is because they're beautiful. And this is not only us who say this one, even the tourists is coming. The diplomats coming, different parts of people from Africa and other parts of Africa are coming and visiting not only Addis but other places as well, and they enjoyed it. That's what they're saying. So after, by the way, Jonas saying all this, it'll be very nice to give our viewers about what the Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed had to say. And this is the view we have it, and we'll be back after the glimpse of it.
Aisione, one, selo mai zagambo dunguza, adda tora zari zagambo gondale, donza zawana gizai gambo minota.
Arbaminch ሲፈጥረው ውብ ነው።
Arbaminch is splendid from the very beginning. It's unbelievably attractive area. If a little bit of craftsmanship is complemented on it, it possesses a huge potential of bringing wealth and attraction to the nation at large. If you had observed the places we visited, it was the dawn of a generation project that we first went on after we landed. The dawn project is huge. It has got big halls and numerous syndicate rooms with a sophisticated restaurant. It also possesses almost 100 rooms. It actually is a big facility. It's a qualified and standardized work that enables accommodation of international guests and even conferences.
በጣም ትልቅ ፋሲሊቲ ነው። ትላልቅ ኮንፈረንሶች ለማካሄድ የውጭ ሀገር እንግዶች ለመቀበል የሚያስችል ጥርት ያለ የሚያኮራ ስራ ነው።
Dear viewers, you're watching Addis Media Network, and this is our weekly review, reviewing the issues we have at hand. And the next issue, of course, will take us to, of course, improving service efficiency. And Jonas, of course, Mayor of Addis Ababa, Mayor Adanej Abebe, called on service providers in the capital to showcase Ethiopia's renowned culture of hospitality. And the mayor, of course, said this one because we have had many summits over the week and before even that, and the next weeks, of course, we'll have many, including in the month of September, especially the climate summit, and that is highly anticipated, as you already know it. Yeah.
You mean the second Africa climate summit? Yes. It's going to be held in the coming September, as you said, that from 8 to 10, 2025.
Right.
So it is a great summit to be held in the capital, Addis Ababa. Do you know the summit will be structured around some issues? The first one is just bringing solutions towards the effect of climate change. Right. So there are advocates about climate action towards just being implemented by every nation around the world. So these climate actions need to be strengthened and need to be entertained and reaffirmed there at the summit.
Yes.
So the commitment of each country towards climate action is highly anticipated at the summit.
Right.
So the summit is expected to leverage the potential of the countries towards mitigating the effects of climate change, and also it is just towards reaffirming commitments of each countries.
Right.
The other important thing is climate finance. You know, in COP 2019, the world leaders pledged $300 billion for developing countries.
That's a lot.
For developing countries. But the question is it really being done according to its promise? The government is, particularly the industrialist, the government has just pledged this one, but in action they are not at that spot. So the summit, this particular summit, the Second Africa Climate Summit, is also there to tell those industrialist countries, tell all the countries just towards just being committed upon their promises, upon their pledges. The other important issue when we talk about climate change is these solutions, particularly Africa-led solutions, because Africa is a continent which has great consequences because of the climate change. You can mention the drought and flooding and even extreme heat. So this all have been happening in Africa because of the climate change. So African-led solutions are really important towards just dealing with these new natural phenomena, because expecting just others for the solution cannot take you so far. So you need to have your own solutions towards your each and every problems. So you're talking about this climate change, the consequence of climate change and the effects of climate change. It is huge, but the solution should be at your hand. So the African leaders are also anticipated to bring Africa-led solutions towards the effect of climate change.
Right. Since Addis Ababa is their capital, and of course we know that Addis Ababa is becoming a hub of international conferences as well, and this is the right time to voice whatever we have in hand, because Africa contributed minimal. It was very small that we contributed to climate change we are witnessing at this time. So the number itself is not that small. It's about 25,000 participants are expected to attend at this international event, which is going to be held in the Capital in September. And what do we have? Of course, we'll witness. This media network will be, of course, broadcasting the events as well. Especially the English desk will be part of the news, and we'll have some programs as well, and hopefully you'll be one of them.
Of course.
Yes.
One thing about the Green Legacy Initiative, it's very important to mention what Ethiopia has been doing in this regard. You know, the Green Legacy Initiative, it is all about climate change. It's all about fighting the climate change in Ethiopia and Africa and in the world. So if other nations across the world just follow the step of Ethiopia, the climate change would not have that much great effect on the lives of people. So the Green Legacy Initiative, so far billions of trees have been planted in the country, and it's also expanding to other African nations. So it's a great move towards just mitigating the effect of climate change.
This is one of the things that we can contribute, because by the end of the winter season, the Ethiopian winter season will be planting, of course, about 7.5 billion trees, and that is one of the contributions we can do to the earth as well. And by the way, the mayor, of course, asked the Addis Ababa dwellers, the Addis Ababans, renewing even the culture of hospitality. And let's have Mayor Adaneч Abebe, and we'll be back.
2017 ወደ 150
In the concluding 2017 Ethiopian calendar alone, Addis Ababa hosted over 150 conferences and some 230,000 guests conveyed in these conferences. Conference tourism has been growing in the city. The flow of tourists has raised from 78,000 in 2014 to 1.3 million in 2017 Ethiopian calendars, with 143 billion birr dispersed to the economy.
As the upcoming international events to be held in our city, Addis Ababa is an event that we are expecting to host more than 25,000 people. It has a significant role in Ethiopia's economy, especially for the hospitality, transport industry. It has direct benefit. Generally, its benefits for the tourism sector. When we see it in detail, there is no doubt that it will have high occupancy for the hotel and accommodation sector. With regard to this, there will also be economic benefits that make trickle with every individual who participates in this process. Therefore, hosting such a world class is successful in a manner that creates the opportunity to make Ethiopia a preferable destination for these kind of high-level events. We hence ought to execute for our own benefit.
preferred የሆነ destination እንድትሆን ለማድረግ እድል ይሰጣል ሶ ለራሳችን ስንል በደንብ መስራት አለብን ብዬ አስባለሁ
Dear viewers, we're back, and of course, Jonas Assers has been here with me, of course, discussing different issues. I really appreciate that he just came and gave us different issues, including the bilateral ties Ethiopia has with other countries. And we went, of course, reviewing the main important issues, including the Arba Minj, Land of Wisdom, and Grand Ethiopian Renaissance them in one way or the other. Of course, we mentioned the urban and rural development as well, and talking about the service efficiency, and of course we also mentioned the African Climate Summit, and that is going to take place in the coming Ethiopian New Year, and I really appreciate that he came and discussed the issues.
Thank you, my pleasure.
I really appreciate it. Hopefully I'll have you some other time, and thank you once again.
Of course.
Appreciate it. Dear viewers, you've been watching Addis Media Network's weekly review with me, Brian Tadasa, and that does it for today. I'll have you back next week, and bye for now.